Hey everybody, this is Everett Bennett with EB3D Customs, and today we're going to go over how to use your 10-watt Falcon diode laser to engrave Great Carve scratch acrylic. Today we're going to use the black and yellow. I really like their scratch acrylic. They also have a line of scratch leather that I'm going to try shortly, so stay tuned for that. If you guys are getting any help out of these videos, please like or subscribe, as that's going to help encourage me to make more tutorials in the future. All right, guys, so now we're going to go into Image R, and I showed you guys in the first tutorial how to create an AI image. So today I'm going to skip that part of the process. You can go back to that first tutorial if you want. And I'm just going to go through my library of AI art, and I'm going to pick a picture at random so that we can work these steps beginning to end. I really like the look of that one randomly. And let's go through the process on this black and yellow acrylic. So now that we've got it, first step is we're going to resize it, I think in inches. And I always like to start with a little piece. So we're going to go 2 inches. And on my Falcon 10 watt, the DPI is 254. So we're going to go ahead and set that. Once it gets done with that, we're going to go ahead and set our material. And for me on this acrylic, we know we want an inverted image because we're engraving the black away to expose that yellow. So I'm going to use the same Marson black slate algorithm because that's going to automatically invert that image and do a lot of stuff for me. As I mentioned in the last video, if you use the one touch after you've set your material, you get really good results, and it's really quick. So at that point, I'm going to download the image. I download the PNG. That works really well for me every time. And our next step is going to be in Library. So let's go there. Okay, now that we've done our dithering in Image R, let's go ahead and import that image in. And the reason I picked 2 inches by 2 inches is I haven't tried this image before specifically, and I always like to do a fresh image on a little test piece just to make sure I don't need to do any fine tuning. It saves a lot of time and headache for me personally. So now that I have the image imported in, I need to make sure it's on the right layer, and it's currently not. I like to use C15 for my layer on this. My settings for that are 150 inches per minute at 20% power. I do have pass-through enabled, and that's because we did our dithering outside of Lightburn. Always look, there's a description down here for that. And if you're running in millimeters, keep in mind that I am inches per minute. So you'll want to convert that over to your unit of measurement. Next, I'm going to draw a cut square around our test piece. And I just held shift while I was drawing that to keep it nice and square. And then we will change it to our cut layer. Mine is CO2. And I like the red personally. To me, that's cut. We'll change that to our 2 inches. We'll select both of them at the same time. And then click our crosshair here to center them up. Unlike last time where I was in exact coordinates, I'm going to use current position now. Okay guys, now that we're here at the laser, there's a couple things that I wanted to mention before I clamp this down and show you guys how we're going to position. You do want to peel the clear plastic off of this before engraving, and the reason I used current position is we're going to use this piece of material that barely has enough to do that 2 inch by 2 inch test piece. Now I'm going to clamp this down, and I'm going to start by positioning, tracing out, and then we'll start our program. Another thing I wanted to mention, guys, acrylic is very poisonous when it's burning. So I'm in a building that's not attached to my house, and I'll be leaving the building as it's engraving and cutting. Please make sure you're not inhaling this. It can make you very sick, so I just wanted to note that as well. Okay, so we have the material clamped down with magnets now, and I have it approximately where I think I should be able to start it with the focus set. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to frame this, and I have it to where my fire is enabled at 10.5% whenever I frame around this. Make sure you have your safety glasses on for this. I know that doesn't sound like much power, but it adds up quick. Now we're going to frame it a couple of times and make sure that we're fitting exactly where we want to on that material. Alright, and as you can see, I do a couple of test frames. We're going to hit exactly where I wanted to hit. I'm going to hit start now and walk out of the room. I'll show you a final product and look forward to hearing any comments. Okay guys, so the laser is done. It's had time to air out in here. And we're going to go ahead and pull this final product and see what it looks like. Alright, so the test went really well. At this point, I would blow my image up to 4x4 or 6x6 and cut a couple of these for the next event that I would go to sell at my booth. If you guys have any more content you want to see, if you want to know how I created this jig for the laser, any other content that you're interested in seeing, feel free to comment. And as I mentioned before, please like and subscribe. That's going to help encourage more tutorials. I'm shooting for one a week right now, and I'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.